today is actually my 12-year sobriety anniversary.
Today is?
It is.
Nice.
7-Eleven.
Because when I do drinks, I do them all, baby.
That's awesome.
Well, it was a bad day for the RFT to deliver their pig and whiskey box.
Yeah, thank you for
which
the
is
whiskey.
sitting right next to Rafe.
No big deal. Give it to me.
With the bottle of Jack Daniels in there. Thank you, RFT. For
Yeah,
delivering that
yeah.
on Rafe's sober day.
Wow.
It was at my station, too, when I came in.
It was.
Hang it.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages from people, so I don't talk about it a lot. But if you're struggling, every day's a day you can turn it around. And if anybody, feel free to message me on the apps and stuff if you need somebody to talk to.
So that's very nice of you. So 12 years ago today.
7-11-11.
7-11-11. So what happened 7-10?
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was a series of things that led to me to make the decision, but I went out with a bang. We'll put it that way. Where I woke up on 7-11 and was like, whew, time to retire, buddy.
Was it a plan? I'm going
to go get a free
so what day of the
Slurpee
week?
What I like to tell people is I mastered the craft. And when you master a craft, it's good to retire while you're still the best player in the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hang up your cleats. I heard Ron White say this on a podcast, and it really resonated with me because he quit drinking. The comedian Ron White, who literally takes whiskey on stage with him, and he was like, I feel like you get a certain amount of drinks in your life, and I should have paced mine out better. And that's kind of how I felt. I was like, you get a certain amount of drinking in your life, and I took it all on the front end.
So do you remember what day of the week 7-11-11 was?
I want to say Sunday, maybe.
7-10 was the Sunday. 7-11 was the Monday.
Yeah, so 7-10. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you don't mind me prying, where were you?
Golf tournament.
Which, yes, that...
Man, that'd drive me
those
to drink
things.
too, brother.
But it was like it was a fundraiser. I had a all-night band played at the bar I worked at, stayed up all night drinking with the band. I don't think I even slept. Went to this golf fundraiser. Day 2. Watermelon soaked.
Oh, yeah.
In rum and vodka, out in the sun. Couldn't finish. 8 holes in. I'm done. Yeah. Can't swing a club.
You were 8 up, 8 holes in.
Yeah. And then, it was a fundraiser for my friend's daughter who had a rare form of cancer and was fighting for her life, and I got, blacked out. And I was just realized I wasn't present. I wasn't there for my friend. I woke up the next day and was like, man, I don't even remember. I wanted to donate. I wanted to do all these nice things, and there's this little kid out there fighting for her life, and she's not leaning on a bottle. She's fighting literally, and she survived, and she's doing great today. But it's kind of made me come to the realization of what are you doing, man? If this little kid can face cancer every day as a child, literally staring down the face of death, I think you can handle your adult problems without getting hammered all the time.
And was it drinking every day for you?
No, I was just when I went all in.
Yeah.
I'd have days in between, but when I went, I was drinking to get to a place.
Yeah.
So when I went, I just I think I have an all or nothing personality, and it was just one of those things where I was like, this is.
So if we went out to dinner and I have a cocktail.
Yeah, it's not crack cocaine. I'm not going to be like, give me that.
No. I'm saying back when you were drinking. So
yeah,
went out to dinner. I had a cocktail. You had 15 cocktails.
Maybe not at dinner, but end of night.
Right.
I'm going to keep going. When you go home, I'm going to be like, well, the party's just starting for me. Yeah, I was just a party monster, man. But it was they say, here's what I'll say about it. Disgust can be a powerful motivator. And I woke up disgusted with myself. Because they say,
felt like crap.
Yeah, I just didn't I was like, this is not reflective of who you are as a human. And, you can have those moments that are really... So, but it doesn't always that. There doesn't always have to be this wild rock bottom. If when alcohol has the scales tip for people sometimes, where I'm like, maybe it doesn't start. It's not necessarily starts off where it's problematic, but then you get there where it tips, and it's you can get to a point where you can be honest with yourself and say, hey man, booze is not enhancing my life in any way. It doesn't have to be destroying your life for you to decide, you know what, I'm gonna give it up for a while.
When you were in high school,
everybody's got different levels of where it's time to get off the train.
Were you the party guy in high school?
I was fun, but I didn't really. I was kind of a
Drinking
square.
in high school?
I didn't drink a ton because my dad was super strict, and I didn't drink a ton in high school, but I made up for it in college.
Yeah, Moon and Scott didn't have their first sips until your 20s.
I mean, I drank in high school.
26, 25, 6, 7, something like that. But
Really?
Yeah, man. We never tried it. And because I'm adopted, so I was like, man, you know what?
And Amish.
I was just like, I got a lot of things to accomplish. I had a lot of goals, that most high school kids didn't. So I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm not going to risk having some sort of issue or something that may be biological or whatever. I'm just not going to, like, why chance it? I'm not going to chance it. And the people around me who were doing it were not the people I was trying to emulate. So I was
Were
like,
you scared at all? Was it like if I touch booze, like maybe it was
no
pounded into you like, oh, your first sip, it's like, the devil juice, then you're going to go
no.
You're going to go down a road
No, definitely
That was
not.
King Scott.
of evil.
No, it was not for me. Yeah, for me, it was just the folks that were around me that were doing it were not people I wanted to emulate. I really, really had just goals, and that's all. I was just sort of obsessive about.
Yeah.
I need to get good at this. I need to get good at this, and I'm going to work on that. And why play with it? I had soccer and I had music, and I was focused on both. And then after a while, it became kind of like a thing where people were sort of amazed by it. When I was like, well, why am I gonna break the streak? Plus, I just didn't want to do it in an unsafe environment. So when Scott and I tried it, we were on a tour bus where somebody was driving me, where a tour manager was going to make sure I got somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You almost had a babysitter.
It was the safest place ever. I had multiple babysitters that I was paying to make sure I got somewhere safely. So it was kind of like the best of places to try it. And then I made up for it. I mean, you got to remember, like, I wasn't like a partier, but when you're on tour and you really enjoy beer, and I became like a beer guy. I loved beers from all over the different parts of the country.
When we met, you had the app that you were trying to.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if you look at my app, I look like I had a problem.
What was that?
It's called Untapped without an E.
Yeah.
And you know how many freaking badges I won on that thing? Because and if you think about it like this, and I didn't realize that this was like probably extremely damaging to my body, but every single day I was in a new city. And what do? You wake up, you try to find a bathroom, you try to find a coffee house, and then after that, from lunch on, I'm having beer. And it wasn't that I was like drunk all day, but I was drinking all day.
Yeah.
Because you're in a rock band.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Well, also you get backstage. There's beer waiting for you on ice.
I mean, literally, people are handing me beers everywhere I go.
Free.
And everything is free. So like, and then when you're in London, you're like, oh, cool. What's in? And we would always ask for like a local beer.
I gotta try the
rider.
London beer.
So I always had these like cool beers, these different types of beers, and I got really into it. And then, again, you don't realize because I'm not doing it to get hammered. I'm not partying, but you realize like if somebody said, "How many beers do you have this week?" I go, "Oh man, that's damn near impossible to count. I have no idea."
500?
No, it wasn't like that, but it was just like it was enough. You know what I mean? Like probably 5, 6 a day or something, spread out and whatever. But then you have them on stage, you have them after stage. And again, I wasn't like hammered all the time. I've only been hammered like a handful of times.
Sure.
But in that 10-year period, man, I didn't realize it got away from me. I just didn't realize it. So my wife in October of 2019 was like, "Hey, all these people that I really would like to emulate, like that are really successful right now, I've found a common thread where they don't drink. I think I want to try not drinking." So I just, in solidarity, did it with her, and it has been life-changing and beautiful and amazing for us. And we haven't since October 2019.
Well, and you guys work in, comedy clubs, and concert
dude,
halls, and it's all
everywhere.
over the place. And you're surrounded by people.
I worked at a bar when I
Loosen
quit
it up.
drinking. And you'd think that would be a deterrent, but I got to see the guy I had to be again every night. The guy
So that helped?
helped. Because I'm like,
Wow.
I don't have to be that guy.
Yeah.
The guy
You
that's
ever-
stumbling from table to table who thinks he's like, these ladies like what I'm putting out. And I'm like, they are disgusted by you. You're falling down drunk, dude. Like,
You're a mess.
because
And
like if you're
everybody's
the
talking
drunkest
about you.
guy in the bar in your 20s, more power to you. Hit your 30s, think about what you're doing. You hit your 40s, there may be no coming back. I'm not saying there's always that's not true. Everyone's in charge of their own redemption, and it can happen any day for you. I just became like a caricature of myself. Like I became like a drawing at the state fair that has a big head and a little body on a surfboard with like beer cans all around it. Like you'd get drawn on the boardwalk. I just became that in real life, where I was like, "Oh, dude, is this what your life is going to be, man?" And it's like, and I'm not dogging anybody. If you can, I'm jealous of people that can do it. They can have like 3 beers and be like, I'm good. Mm-hmm. That ain't me. And I had to like accept that about myself and be like, you know.
Yeah, I never was a drinker in high school.
I
Maybe
was.
when I got into my 20s.
I was bad.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never drank and drove. Like, I was very adamant about that. Like, if we were ever drinking our asses off, that we stayed, you know? Or if my friends wanted to drink, I would drive. I was, like, terrified of killing somebody or anything like that. But, yeah, I mean, I want to say the first alcohol I ever had underage was probably 14, 15 years old.
Dang.
Southern Comfort.
Yeah, that's always the first whiskey kids
Dude,
try because it
was
tastes like
brutal.
candy.
Really?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean, and
it
you just have no
does.
idea how it affects you. And I'll never forget. I was at my dad's house, West Frankfort, Illinois. Somehow we got it, however big it was, this bottle. And my girlfriends and I were like, we're going to drink alcohol for the first time. And I mean, I just vomited everywhere.
Nice.
Had to try and put my.
never doing this again.
Right. Oh, it's terrible. I mean, but I don't know. I similar to kind of what Moon was saying, like in 2011 was the year where I was like a lush, like the Emmis Christmas parties. That was the year that, because they would host a huge gathering for all the air personalities and stuff and the people that worked for the stations. And I'll never forget, I passed out on the bar that December in 2011.
Where was that at?
That was at Sage or in Soulard where we were having it. I think it was called Sage. It's not there anymore.
The company party? It was at the company party? Because those company parties would go from one place to the next place to the next
I
place.
You
didn't
passed
make
out
it.
of the first place?
I passed out at the first place.
Oh, really?
And-
what a lightweight.
Because we were doing shots of Jaeger, and so I passed out on the bar.
Yeah.
It was my soon, Tim I was dating at the time, Greg Bowe, and like Amber Christie, all these people that were my friends. They blocked me. They didn't let the bosses see that I had just passed out on the bar.
Right.
And Tim drove me home, and that was the next morning.
Little
I woke
did you
up.
know the boss has passed out at the next place.
Yeah.
Getting blocked from you.
Well, but that was whenever I had my awakening. I said, I got it. I think I'm developing some sort of habit with this.
Sure.
And so I decided, that was December 2011. I said, I'm going to go a full year without drinking.
Yeah.
And see what that does.
And did you?
I did.
Sometimes
full
that
year, huh?
I
Like
tell
a reset.
Awesome. Yeah, and I tell people that all the time. A good rule of thumb: take some time off and make sure you're still captain of the ship.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea, even if it's just like 2 weeks. Just be like, I'm going to take 2 weeks and see if you can do it. Because if you can't, be honest with yourself and be like, well, I can't take 2 weeks off.
And take
You
some,
didn't do any-
and
you didn't
take
do
some
any-
inventory.
12 steps, right? Like you didn't go to a 12-step?
I cold turkeyed cigarettes and booze on the same day, so I was real cranky because I could not quit. I couldn't quit smoking unless I quit drinking. Because if I had one cocktail, I'd be in the bathroom offering sexual favors for a Marlboro Red. There's something connected in your brain that I was like, man. Two vodka tonics in, I'm like, hey man, you got any Parliament Funks, man? Oh.
Yeah.
Did you have any pain afterwards, or did you just move on pretty
No,
smooth?
I didn't have like physical withdrawals so much. A little bit. I had like night sweats, and so that's a lie. I had like messed up dreams, but man, I felt so. And the thing was, is like 12 steps work. Go to 12. Try everything, dude. Whatever you have to try it. If you don't like a group, go to a different group. If you don't like 12 steps, try cold turkey. If cold turkey doesn't work, go to a therapist. If a therapist doesn't work, talk to your friends. Like, keep trying everything you got to try. It's not a one size fits all thing. But I did do I did AA meetings in the first year because I quit with another person, and we drunkenly made a pact to quit together, and then called each other on it, and it was good because it gave me a partner in what I was doing.
Yeah.
We said we're going to take a year off. We didn't put I didn't try to put this like all or nothing, which is my personality. Like, I'm never drinking again, because I had a lot of false starts too. And man, you can always don't get down on yourself. If you're trying and you mess up, just try again. Because I had a lot of false starts. This wasn't the first time I tried to quit drinking. I had tried a couple times, and then something would happen, and then what happens is you feel embarrassed or ashamed. I started blacking out, looking at my phone and being like, oh man, I texted like 9 people last night. This sucks. Oh, called my mom at 3 a.m.
Also,
Wonder how long that phone call went. And it's like, I went through that where I was like, I'd quit for a while, and then the shame kind of wears off. Like the shame of like whatever you were feeling bad about wears off, and you're like, I think everybody kind of forgot about me knocking all those tables over. Maybe I'll go back in that bar, like.
Well, I also think we're the same age, you and I, and as you get
You're actually
older,
older than me, but it's fine.
we graduated the same year.
Yeah, but you're older than me.
You're a
physically.
month older than Rafe.
Like if we were twins, you'd be the older twin.
Look at you.
Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, just
You're
saying.
the oldest one on the show is what we're saying.
You're the oldest one.
And I'm the youngest. Hello, everybody.
It's fine. As you get older, the pressures kind of decrease. When you're in your 20s, you're the one not drinking, and it's, well, look at you not drinking. In your 30s, that kind of goes away.
Yeah.
We were out on Saturday night. We were at a bar. I was there. The boss was there. Tina was there.
Yeah.
A couple other friends. And you weren't drinking, and nobody batted an eye.
No, I'm not weird about it at all. And that's the thing is like I'm still fun. I'm not a square. I just don't drink. I still like to go out. I still like to. It doesn't
You
really.
could have been more fun with a couple Rumpleman shots.
That's true, but that guy's golf cart would have been in serious danger.
When you get to this age, nobody's even paying attention.
Yeah.
So, like,
That's my
you know what's
point.
happened to me?
Yeah.
Some of my closest friends. So we haven't drank in years. Like we've been sober for years, and some of my friends. I just saw them at El Montero, and they're like, "Hey, you want a beer?" Because they have no idea.
Yeah.
So like clearly they're not paying attention. So nobody cares. Nobody cares about any of that.
And there's
stuff.
so many options now. Like if you did want to have like anything, for me, I've talked about this on the show a lot. I drink cannabis seltzers now more than alcohol, and that's just every weekend.
Dude, those well-being beers are good.
So good.
And it's like if you have a hankering for a beer, if you're a beer person, those are great.
Yeah,
They're
dude.
actually those guys paid for like a machine. Because usually they boil non-alcoholic beer and it tastes like a skunk's ass, and you're like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
I like.
Well, maybe that's what you're going for.
So,
Bush NA, as far as NA beers, Bush NA
not
is
bad.
fantastic.
but the well-being are brewed. They don't boil them; they compress them. They use like hydraulic presses to the alcohol rises to the top, and they skim it off. So it's brewed like a beer. It tastes good. That's your free plug. Well-being. Come on as a sponsor. Anyway,
Well, hey, congratulations, Rafe. 12 years.
yeah.
That's amazing.
So I'm going to start tomorrow again. Baker's dozen.